talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an...
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Matty Fight Talk. Bellator is kicking off the year with a banger of a fight card. It's going down February 4th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. We got Bellator 290, and headlining that is going to be the champion Ryan Bader taking on Fedor Emelianenko for the second time. These guys have already fought. Now I'm super excited for these fights. The fight card seems pretty good. Like it's going to be action packed. And let me get right into the biscuits and gravy here and break these bad boys down real quick. It's going to be short. It's going to be sweet, and we'll get right to the point. So we got Ryan Bader, the current champion, standing there at 6'2", 265, big, massive Ryan Bader. I remember this guy when he's fighting at light heavyweight in the UFC, 39 years young, taking on Fedor Emelianenko, who's 40-6 in his long, illustrious career, 16 KOs and 15 submissions, very well diverse in his game plan as well. Now, Fedor's 6', 225, so he has given up a lot of weight in this matchup. And now Fedor's 46 years old. This guy is not a young man anymore. He used to be considered one of the best MMA fighters in all of the world. So I think he's well past his prime. He's definitely going to be getting his hands full again. Now, if you guys are Bellator fans or happen to have caught the first fight, Ryan Bader knocked out Fedor. It was bad. He slept him with a nice little quick left hook, dropped him, put him down, landed some punches, and kept his belt in under a minute. It's going to be tough. Now, Ryan Bader's last fight was May 6, 2022, where he defeated Czech Congo in a 5-round war. It's pretty interesting, the Bellator heavyweights. They're a lot older guys. They're, you know, ex-fighters from, like, the UFC and the PFL and, like, all these other organizations, and they seem like they're in the twilight of their career. But these guys are still throwing hands and throwing down. Now, Fedor, his last fight was October 23rd, 2021, where he defeated Tim Johnson with a first-round KO. So, I mean, both of these guys are coming off victories. But as far as this matchup goes, it's very interesting because of how the first fight went. Ryan had no trouble whatsoever. I mean, everybody loves Fedor. If you've been a fan of fighting for a long time, you've been on this guy's bandwagon at some point. I mean, he really was a very dominant fighter for a long time. But at this point of his career, at this age, I just don't see him getting the job done. I mean, if he's coming in at 225, I don't know what he weighs right now, but Ryan Bader's a big, heavy dude with really good wrestling and really heavy hands. I'm taking Ryan Bader doing the same shit. I think Fedor is going to try and wrestle a little bit in this fight. I mean, he needs to wrestle in this fight, judging off of the first fight. Fedor has power in his hands too, man, but I just think that Bader hits harder, and he's going to shut the lights out again. I see this fight ending in the second round. I think Fedor is going to try and wrestle him. He's going to try and make it a grappling fight. He might even try to land some of his own punches, but I just think Bader is better and younger and just has more going in his lane right now than Fedor does. Fedor just really is at the end of his career, and I think he's trying to win that belt before he finally just rides off into the sunset. But Ryan Bader's going to win this fight. Second round KO, TKO. Lock that shit in. Moving on to the next fight, we got the new middleweight champion trying to get his first title defense. We got Johnny Eblen taking on Anatoly Tokov. And I could be saying these names wrong because, you know, I'm not good with names. We all know this. But Johnny Eblen, 12-0, 5 KOs, 1 submission. The guy's a freaking monster. 6'3", 74.5-inch reach, and he's only 31 years young. He last defeated Gegard Mousasi in a 5-round decision to claim the belt back in June 24th of 2022. This is a great fighter, man. I mean, I thought Gegard, coming off of his long win streak and just outstanding career that he's had, he's one of those guys that it's hard to go against him. And Johnny Eblen definitely proved me wrong. I thought he was a little young to get his title shot. You know, 11-0. He is undefeated. I wasn't riding the hype train quite yet. But if you go back and you watch that fight, you watch the highlights of it, Johnny Eblen absolutely destroyed Mousasi in every way. Stand-up, takedowns, all around. I mean, last video I did back for that fight when I was giving my predictions for that, a lot of Johnny Eblen fans hopped in the comments and told me, you know, you better do some research. This guy's a fucking beast. And you guys proved me wrong. He really is. He's a really beast-ass champion. I'm very excited for this guy. Now, Anatoly, my bad, however you say his name, Tokov, 31-2, 17 KOs and 7 submissions. Now, both of these guys, I'm telling you, man, very dangerous fighters. Tokov's 5'11", 73-inch reach, 32 years young, and he is on a 7-fight win streak. He last defeated Muhammad Abdullah via TKO. So they're both doing really good right now. I mean, Tokov is just a monster as well. He has a lot of ways of finishing the fight. He does have a lot of experience of putting people out, but I think Johnny Eblen is a tall task, literally. That guy is big, strong in all departments, great stand-up, great ground game, and the kid's hungry, man. He fights with vicious. I mean, your nickname's the human cheat code. Like, let's, it doesn't get any better than that. So I got Johnny Eblen winning this fight. I think Tokov's going to bring it, but I think Johnny Eblen puts him away in round 3. I think it's going to be a war. Both guys are going to come out swinging for the fences. I just feel like Eblen has more tools in the bag. I think he's going to ground and pound him for the TKO. Nothing to throw shade on Tokov's name, but I just really see Johnny Eblen getting the job done. Now, moving on to the next fight, we have Hamasi taking on Brennan Ward. Now, Hamasi, 17-10, 11 KOs and 3 submissions, 7 first-round KOs, but he has been knocked out 6 times in his career. Now, Brennan Ward, 16-6, 11 KOs and 4 submissions, 34 years young. He also has 7 first-round KOs. Both of these men are 3-2 in their last 5. Look, when you see the record like 17-10, 16-6, a lot of people are like, well, he's not, you got 6 losses, you got 10 losses. Those guys, to me, have been through wars. So I respect it. I like that they both have 7 first-round finishes each. But judging off of the fact that Hamasi's been knocked out 6 times, it makes me seem like he's one of those guys who lives by the sword and dies by the sword. Brennan Ward, he's been finished as well, but he's been submitted 4 times. And I don't think this fight's going to hit the ground. I think these guys are going to go out there and they're going to fucking go guns blazing. So I got Hamasi winning this fight by KO. I think it's going to be a 2nd-round knockout. I don't see many of these fights going the distance. I think Hamasi's going to come out, and like I said, he lives by the sword, he dies by the sword. He's been knocked out 6 times, and he has 7 first-round finishes. That's not including the rest of his 11 knockouts that have come, I think, in the 2nd round. He doesn't really go the distance. He either puts you out or he gets put out, which, I mean, that's a dangerous way of fighting, but I love it. And I think Hamasi's going to get the job done. Round 2, Brennan Ward's getting KO'd. We'll move further down the line. We got Neiman Gracie taking on Shiro. This is going to be a good fight. Neiman Gracie's 11-4, 1 KO, 9 submissions. Then you got Shiro, 9 wins, 4 losses. But he's got 5 KOs and 3 submissions under his belt as well. Both of these guys have lost their last fight. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the real interesting thing here is Dante's last fight, he lost via submission. Now, we all know how Neiman Gracie likes to fight. He likes to get these guys to the ground. He likes to go to work. Now, Neiman Gracie's coming off a loss to Goto Yamauchi, and he lost before that for the title. So it's rough for him, man. He needs to turn it around, and I think this fight, he does turn it around. Shiro's a badass, but I think that he's going to get tapped out in this fight. I think Neiman Gracie, who has decent stand-up, is going to get in some exchanges where he's not the best at, but I think if he gets this fight to the ground against a guy like Shiro, his level of jiu-jitsu is a little bit higher. So I am going for Neiman Gracie in this fight. Lock it in. And then one of the last fights I want to talk about on this fight card, I can't wait. Bellator's the shit. I'm so happy you guys are back. And we got Lorenz Larkin taking on Muhammad Berkamov. These guys have already fought. It ended in a no contest due to illegal strikes. Now, Lorenz Larkin is 24-7 with 12 KOs. Never been submitted. Doesn't have a submission under his belt as well. Muhammad, 15-1. He has 2 KOs and 10 submissions. Now, this fight's going to be very interesting. I was there live in Tacoma when these guys fought. It was very back and forth at first. And then, the illegal strikes happened. So we didn't really get to see any of these guys open up. I'm very curious what happens here. I believe Muhammad was going in for a takedown, and Lorenz Larkin started elbowing him on his head. Berkamov wasn't able to recover, and they ended the fight right there. But before those guys fought, I mean, Lorenz was on a 6-fight win streak, and Muhammad was on a 12-fight win streak. So it's very interesting to see what happens here. This is a big moment in both guys' careers, and what I'm very happy about is that they're running this back, because I do want to see what happens in this fight between 2 really dominant fighters. Oh, man, I just think Lorenz is more of a beast, and he has more in the tank, and he digs deeper in fights. So I'm going to take Lorenz Larkin winning this fight. I think this might go to decision. So I got Lorenz Larkin winning a 3-round decision. Muhammad looked like he was trying to pin him up against the fence the last time they fought. Not a big fan of that style, especially if you're not, if you're just grappling, that's one thing. If you're Khabibing it and you're grappling and ground and pounding, that's another. So I think Lorenz is going to stuff him, and he's going to land some deadly punches. I got Larkin winning this fight, 3-round decision. Anyway, guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit me in the comments. Let me know who you guys have winning. Don't forget to check out Bellator 290 going down February 4th, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an